E-cigarettes are devices designed to deliver nicotine to the user without ever having to light up a conventional cigarette. These devices were first patented in 2003 and they've been available for sale in the U.S. since 2007. Manufacturers of these products advertise them as safer than traditional forms of smoking and as a way to actually quit smoking. But right now, the jury's still out on the long-term health effects from e-cigarettes. Studies have shown a link between the use of e-cigarettes and something called popcorn lung. The lung disease is caused because many e-cigarettes are flavored with a chemical, and when the chemical is inhaled, it can cause scarring of the air sacs in the lungs, resulting in thickening and narrowing of the airways. Symptoms of popcorn lung include coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath, similar to the symptoms of COPD. But what we're focusing on mostly are the lawsuits being filed against the manufacturers of e-cigarettes because the lithium batteries in the devices have been known to explode during normal operations and during the charging of the batteries, and it causes severe burns to the user and even property damage. Most of the fires with e-cigarettes occur while the device is being charged in a USB port. The problem stems from the fact that different USB ports put on different levels of voltage and current, which can cause the battery in e-cigarettes to overheat. This overheating causes a reaction that's been called thermal runaway. And once this reaction begins, there's nothing that can be done to stop it. This thermal runaway creates a superheated explosion that immediately causes a second or third degree burns to the victim that's anywhere near it. And it can cause bone fractures, it can cause muscle damage, it can cause even the loss of eyesight. And you need to understand that these aren't just small sparks or minor battery glitches. These are full throttle explosions. According to a report by FEMA in late 2014, these devices, due to the way that they were shaped and designed, essentially became missiles with an explosive impact. The document states e-cigarettes are more likely than other products with lithium batteries to have this flaming rocket feature about them. And just like real rockets and missiles, the explosions created by these e-cigarette batteries can be devastating. In 2012, a man in Florida had an e-cigarette explode in his mouth. It shattered most of his teeth and it blew out a portion of his tongue. In December 2016, an e-cigarette device exploded in the man's pocket while he was riding on a bus. The explosion caused third-degree burns on the man's leg, and he had to be rushed to the emergency room. Also in December, a man from Stratford, Connecticut had a device explode while it was in his mouth. The explosion knocked out two of the man's teeth, caused severe damage to other teeth, and left him with burns all over his hands. Witnesses claimed that the device exploded and then sailed about 20 feet across the room. In January of this year, an Idaho man named Andrew Hall had an e-cigarette device blow up while it was in use, knocking out 7 of his teeth, left him with second-degree burns on his face, and it shattered the bathroom sink when the exploding device flew onto the counter. The FDA has documented more than 130 incidents of e-cigarette battery explosions since these devices were brought onto the market. Unfortunately, it wasn't until 2016 that the FDA even acquired the authority to regulate these devices, and formal science-based public hearings aren't even set until the end of April 2017. This problem is only going to become worse as the use of these devices continue to grow. More than 3 million middle and high school students used e-cigarettes in 2015, making this device the most utilized tobacco product among kids. A CDC report from 2014, the most recent year that we have data on, showed that more than 9 million adults in the United States regularly use e-cigarettes. The growing use can be attributed both the number of people using the device to quit smoking traditional tobacco and the aggressive marketing that these campaigns that Big Tobacco have undertaken to sell e-cigarettes. And yes, you heard that right. Big tobacco companies own a major share of the companies that produce these devices. They begin investing and buying them out once these e-cigarette companies start to emerge. This is a story that's going to get worse and worse as time proceeds. It's a story that you need to be aware of, and you need to tell people about the potential dangers of e-cigarettes.